Alrighty, what's going on, my powerlifting people? Thank you for tuning in to another video. In this video, we're going to break down everything about the World Games. So anytime this championship comes up, people are always asking information about what the World Games is. So in this video, I want to break down, what the World Games is, when it's happening, who's competing, and how you can watch it. So let's get right into it. So first off, let's break down what the World Games is. And the simplest way to kind of break it down is it's the Olympics for the non-Olympic sports. So basically the World Games is a similar thing as Olympics where you have multiple sports competing and it's every 4 years. It happens to be the year after the Summer Olympics. And it's just for the sports or the events within certain sports that aren't in the Olympics. So for powerlifting, which is not in the Olympics, they are in the World Games. The World Games first started in 1981 and it was in California, and powerlifting was actually part of that first one. And now 40 years later, we are back in the US for another World Games event, and powerlifting has been the World Games all the way through from 1981 to the one coming up. With the World Games, some sports do end up moving to Olympics, so it's an opportunity to display your sport, in a multi-sport event, an international event, lots of eyes on it. You make connections with people who may be involved with Olympic committees to be able to get your sport up to Olympics, so that's another benefit of being inside the World Games. So now let's hop over onto my computer so we can kind of go over some information. You can see the websites as far as the schedule, who's competing, and those kind of things. All right, so I have my computer pulled up here, and the first website we're going to go to is the worldgames.org. So that's their official website. So here you can see it says the World Games, and it's going to be in Birmingham, Alabama, USA for this year. And then you can see here the countdown. So the entirety of the World Games is going to be July 7th through the 17th. So they're going to have an opening ceremony on the 7th. They're going to have a bunch of different events going on throughout the week. And then they're going to have the closing event on the 17th. So for each sport, there may not be the entire schedule. They may be in the beginning, they may be in the middle, the end, or across the whole thing. So we'll go over the powerlifting schedule next by hopping over here directly to the IPF website. So if you go to powerlifting.sport, you go to the IPF website. And here on news, the latest news here on the 11th of June, you're going to see it says the lifting schedule. So if you hit the schedule for that, you'll see the schedule specifically for the powerlifting events at the World Games. So one thing to note here, you'll see as far as the categories, how they're not the standard weight class categories. So what they do for the World Games is they combine multiple weight classes into one like super category to make it more competitive and have the lifters go head to head on points. So now with the latest weight classes from the IPF, there's 8 men's weight classes and 8 women's weight classes. They combine 2 of the weight classes into like a super weight class, and then those will be the ones competing head to head. So on the women's side, you can see here on Friday, July 8th, is going to be the lightweights in the morning, which is for the women is the 47s and the 52s. And then at night here, you can see is the middleweights, which are going to be the 57s and the 63s. Then you go into Saturday, and here you have the heavyweights, which are going to be the 69 and 76 kilo class. And then on Sunday here, you have the super heavyweights, which are the 84 and 84 plus. And then similar thing here with the men. Again, starting on Friday, it is going to be in the midday here, starting with the lightweight men, which is the 59 and 66 kilo class. Then Saturday morning, you're going to have the 74 and 83 kilos. Saturday night, you're going to have the 93 and 105 kilos. And then Sunday afternoon, the final session, the super heavyweights, the 120 and 120 plus kilo classes. So there you can see the days, and then here you can also see the start times and end times and when they're going to have the award ceremony, everything like that. To see who's competing in each of these categories and who's going to the World Games, you can always go to goodlift.info. So this is where you can see nominations when it comes to the IPF and a lot of the regional stuff like the European Championship nomination are here. Now for us in North America, we have the North American nominations in here. So if you go over to competitions and nominations, then you'll be able to see the nominations for all the events and when they're doing all those kind of things. So here you can see the World Games Men's 2022 and World Games Women's 2022. So then you can click on, for example, the men's nominations and see for each of these super weight classes who's competing. For the World Games, it has started as a equipped championship because back then in 1981, there was only one division. It was the equipped. There was no raw or classic division. You could just wear everything that's in the rule book. And so they've kept it equipped. So that's why you're not going to see names on here like a Taylor Atwood or Leah Bavois or a Jesus Oliveros or whatever like that. It is going to be the equipped side. So you're going to see some different names. And so the other thing I mentioned too is by points. So here you can see the rankings by the IPF GL points of all the athletes. So you can go here and see who's competing, what country they're representing, what their total is, and then what their GL points are to get an idea of who's going to be battling it out for the top positions. And then the same thing if you went back and looked at the women's nominations, you could take a look at the women's nominations as well here. All right, so next let's hop back over to the World Games website and go over how you can see it. So here obviously from these drop downs, there's lots of information you can see here if you want to go and learn more about where the World Games used to be and where it's going to be coming up, information about, how they run their stuff, the different sports that they have. You can see that there's usually 20 to 30 different sports that they have going on. And they have, they used to start out over 1,000 athletes across all the sports. Now they're over 3,000 athletes across all the sports. And if you go over here to news, then you can see here for the 20th of June, the World Games 2022 on TV. So you can click on that. I already have it pulled up over here. And this is going to give you information about how you can watch it. So as far as being on TV, it is going to be on TV. It just depends on which country you're in because it's going to be on a different channel depending on which country you're in. And then even then you have to go and look at that specific TV station's schedule and see, what times they're going to be playing it. Are they going to be playing some live? Are they going to be replaying some of the stuff? How much of each event they're going to show? But you can go through here and read it. And for like us in the USA, it's going to be on CBS. They're the ones who have the rights to the sport. And then you can see down here, depending on the country, for example, for Poland, it's going to be on Polsat. For Spain, it's going to be on RTVE. For, South America, it's going to be on ESPN Latin America, and so on and so on. And then the main thing that probably is going to be the easiest way to watch it is that it's also going to be here for Olympic channel, basically Olympic.org. It's going to be streaming on the Olympic channel. So for you to go see it, probably the easiest way, and you might have to wait for the information to come, is it'll probably be in two different spots. So one, if you go to the IPF website, typically the week of the competition or right before the competition, they'll add here a little section of how you can watch the lifting. So they'll add here the links so you can go to the Olympic channel and watch it. And then the other way too is when you go to the goodlift.info where you can see nominations, you also see the section here that says live. So again, the week of the competition or right before the competition, they'll have basically, you can see here for the Classic World, it's all the information. So you'll be able to see the schedule, you'll be able to see the nominations, you'll be able to see the link to the Olympic channel to watch it. You'll see the results after each day. And then down here, there'll be a little button when it's live too, which they typically show the actual score sheet. So you can actually see what everyone's openers are, the body weights, and then see the attempts as they go. So you want to wait till the week of the competition, or maybe a couple of days before, to start seeing this information populated. And then you'll have the links to the Olympic channel. Or if you just want to go look at yourself, as you would just go to Olympic.org, or even you can go to olympicchannel.com. And then there you'll be able to search by, sport, or down here at the bottom, you'll be able to see, what's coming up. So you'll be able to see different live events and everything like that, and you'll be able to see it there. But the best probability is just wait for it to pop up on the IPF website and pop up on Goodlift, and then you'll have the direct links, and then you have the schedule as well as far as the US Eastern time of when each session is starting to take a look at it. So hopefully that helped you out, basically figuring out, what the World Games is, who's actually competing, what days are they competing, how you can watch it like that. So if that's something you're interested in watching, you can watch that coming up on July 8th through the 10th. And then you can kind of see what it's like to get as close as possible to like being in the Olympics, because the World Games has a lot of the similar stuff as far as like a huge opening ceremony with all different sports. And then they have a nice live stream on the Olympic channel. The warm-up room looks really nice. Usually they have like one rack per lifter in the back, so everyone's spaced out. They have custom racks as well that League often makes for the World Games, specific to where the location is and different color designs and everything like that. And so it's very professional, high level, because it's part of the International World Games Association, and the World Games Association themselves put different money into each of the sports to bring in people and make the event, obviously high quality. So you can take a look at that and see how it compares to like a typical world championship or national championship live stream. But hopefully you like this video, and hopefully you guys check out the World Games. If you have any questions about the World Games, you can always drop that below, and I can always provide more information and different links and that kind of stuff. Until then, I'll catch you guys in that next video. Bye.